Hi, this is Ram Junior broadcaster Circe, and today I am very lucky to be chatting to Lorayne Branch, the great-granddaughter of Henry Sutton. So today we are talking in Lorraine's lovely blue room / morning room. We tried catching up at Sutton's House of Music, but because of the new music venue, it was a bit too noisy, and we didn't have any special mics. Lorayne, what's the latest news on Henry's inventions, and has anyone else done any other research or what's happening?
Well, just about every week I find something new on Henry. Last week I found 4 new letters he wrote. Some were very small and just little bits of information about his wireless and having a Australian record for the longest distance in Australia for sending a message. That was in about 1908. And then some new information about his battery, which made him world famous in 1882, which was very exciting and takes me all the way to America. And some of the richest men in America were very interested in going into business with Henry.
That would have been amazing, having the richest men in America just like sending you a letter and saying, "Hello, can we just get into your business?" And all the way from America to Australia.
Yeah, they wanted to buy his patent or go into business because his battery patent was different and new, and was the first way to store electricity in a battery. Before it just powered things, but now you could store electricity, and they were railway men and financiers, and they wanted to get in the back door and make a fortune, but Henry had given it to the world for free, and that's what he stuck to. And yes.
We're not at the Sutton's House of Music today, but if we were there and we were looking at the ground and the roof and the walls, what do you reckon the building would say? And it's like, would it say who had come through or the doors? And
they'd have a lot of stories to tell. A new one last week I found out was about the musical burglar. That was really funny. He got caught, but he stole lots of musical instruments and then posted them to Melbourne, thinking he wouldn't get caught, but he did, and he got tried, and that was a funny little episode. But the store in Ballarat, well, there was famous people came and went. You know, Mark Twain, when he came in 1895, would have come into the store, and then Alexander Graham Bell in 1910 came with Henry to see his telephone system he'd set up there, and that was exciting. Dame Nellie Melba was a famous opera singer, and she was quite well known with the Sutton family, and she would have came into the store, and even the Governor General of Australia bought a piano from the Sutton store.
So it's just amazing how many people have come through those doors and who's been there, and all the instruments and the inventions that have been made there. But it's amazing how only in the past few years have people started to really get into knowing Henry Sutton, and especially you, pretty much mostly you. But it's just amazing. And is there like anything else that you wish to say? There's a small groundswell of people who have always known about Henry, and with the work I've done over the last 6 years, now I've written the book and I'm hoping to get it published. Everybody's waiting anxiously to read what I've discovered, which is some amazing stuff which will change a lot of Australian history and world history. So I'm looking forward to actually watching their faces as they realise the extent of how much he did in the world, and
the changes that were made because of what he did.
And this one's going to be the true one, not the one that bloke made up. It's like, what should I write? Oh, I know about Henry Sutton. Wait, no, I don't know anything about it. Just write it.
Yeah, a lot of people have written. They basically they read a little bit that was written, and a lot of the stuff on the internet and that is, there's a lot of truth, but there's a lot of fiction in it. You know, people add things over the years, or they write their own blurb, and then even his birthday is incorrect. And it even fooled the family for a long time because it was always recorded as that, and until I got his birth certificate for the book and discovered he was born a whole year and a day difference. And that made a difference, you know, when you're 14, you did something significant in the world, and so that changed the time and the date of when he did it, and that's pretty significant when you're coming up with new inventions. Yeah.
So thank you very much for chatting, and thank you, Mum and Joe and Vincent in Colorado, USA. And this has been Circe, the Ramp Junior Broadcaster, signing off from Ballarat, Victoria, Australia.